what's it like, and the feelings and the reactions of being a chief once
Yeah.
again?
Yeah, well, I was a chief in two other agencies before becoming the chief here. And it's a little bit different in the sense that I'm coming up in the organization as opposed to coming in from the outside. So I've had a little bit of time working under Chief Kitsero and Dr. Fenoy to get an understanding of what we do. School policing is different. I was a municipal chief before, so we have different challenges here, and I've enjoyed it. It's been exciting. There's a lot of changes occurred over the last few years, and so we're looking forward to building on the success that we've had over the last 3 years.
And I know that you've been involved in some of those changes in the past year and a half or so since you came to the district. Talk about some of your plans of what you want to accomplish, maybe bring to school policing once you get officially appointed chief.
Yeah, look, school policing is not what it used to be. It's not a police officer standing in a bus loop somewhere and just watching kids. We've evolved to situational awareness technology, crime prevention through environmental design, threat assessment, advanced threat assessment. So things have changed dramatically in this field. So we've established what we believe to be a very unique school safety ecosystem in this department, and we have to build on that. So that's going to be our primary focus moving forward, is building on the success that we've had over the last few years, and then taking that to the next level as it relates to setting the benchmark in school-based policing.
Do you foresee big changes coming to the police department under your leadership?
I see us continuing the evolution. You know, we talk here every day about being on a journey from good to great. And that means doing all the big things well and doing all the big things and little things well within a police department. You know, what's different about school policing is that we have one singular focus, and that's to keep our schools safe every day, as opposed to being a municipal chief or in another law enforcement agency that has a bunch of different challenges. Our challenge is unique to making sure our kids are safe and our schools are safe.
How has COVID made that more challenging? Obviously, the announcement coming that next fall, all the kids will be back brick and mortar. So you're going to have, for the first time in over a year, you know, every student back on campus. How has the pandemic made policing more challenging for the school district?
Well, it started at the beginning of the pandemic and having to move to a remote environment and deal with the challenges associated with that. And then a hybrid environment in terms of having some in-person and some of our students operating in a virtual environment. We've seen a lot of stress develop out of this pandemic. And it's something we've been dealing with from a mental health perspective, and we've been trying to grapple with that. And again, our concern is that once we have some post-traumatic stress associated with this pandemic, that we're able to deal with that in terms of providing wraparound services to our students as they come back into this environment.
On Friday, we spoke with the president of the Police Benevolent Association, talking about that this was a surprise to hear the resignation of Chief Kitsero, and that talked about morale being low within the department, and that there was also talk of a possible vote of no confidence. Do you see morale being low in the department currently?
Yeah, a couple things. You know, Chief Kitsero has been doing this for 42 years, and he put his life into this department over the last 3 years to build what we have now. Secondly, understand morale's tough everywhere in this field right now. There's a lot happening in the environment related to policing that's very challenging. Race-related issues, use of force, police reform, the pandemic. We're seeing recruiting challenges that all of us are facing across the country. So it's understandable that morale in general throughout this field is taking a hit, and I think we have to recognize that. So, you know, our role at this point in moving forward is to listen, to collaborate, and my message ultimately is my door's open. So if we need to have a conversation, I'm here to have that conversation. I'll listen, I'll treat you with respect.
They also mentioned that school police have been operating without a current contract, I believe, since December. What are the plans moving forward to get to the negotiating table and try and come up with a solution?
It's an excellent point. So we are operating under the old contract. We need to establish a new contract, and that's one of those things that obviously impacts overall morale. And ultimately, that's between the bargaining unit and the district to come to that agreement. I'll do whatever I can to help in that process, but those two parties have to come to agreement as it relates to the contract.
You've had a long, successful career, I think more than 30 years in law enforcement. Is this exciting, another chapter in your career and another leadership role?
Yeah, look, I left a really great position where I was before to come to the district following Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. A yearning to be part of a group of folks, a talented group of folks who are, again, singularly focused on keeping our kids safe every day. So that's what drives us now, as it drives me moving into the future, is finding the best way to keep our kids safe, giving them the opportunity, all of our kids an opportunity to be successful.
What's a message to parents when they see that your name is now going to be the chief of police for the school district? I can't imagine being a parent nowadays, and something that we took for granted, never thought about going into a classroom. Nowadays, you can't be too careful. What's a message to parents to let them know that you're taking not only their child's safety, but teachers, staff, everyone on every campus, it's utmost importance?
Well, I think you have to look at the district's priority for policing. They have a police department, and there's a reason for that, because their safety is so important. The kids' safety is so important that we have our own department that's going to be singularly focused on keeping those kids safe. We hear it all the time from our parents. They appreciate their officers. They appreciate that we're in the schools. It is a priority. Just 3 years ago, we dealt with that significant tragedy. And right now, it's not even, who's my teacher, who's my police officer? That's a question we get quite a bit. And I hear the board chair talk about that all the time. They want to know that their kids are safe first. And ultimately, that's what drives us day in and day out.
Very good. Chief, anything else you'd like to add at all?
I'm proud of this department. I'm proud of the people in this department. I'm proud of the community support that we have surrounding this agency, and we're all looking forward to a bright future.